Hello everybody, how are you doing? Coach Keith here, and good morning. Welcome to the Success Meeting. The Success Meeting is meant for me to be your coach for the next half hour to hour, to give you structure so that when you leave this meeting, you're going to have everything that you need to have an amazing week. A couple things you need to have in place right now. You need a pen, you need some paper for when we go through the structure of the Success Meeting, and to take any notes that you have. Also, what I'd like you to do is to make sure that if you have any questions, just go to the screen. You'll see the bar there. Click in and ask your questions. Also, there's a downloadable PDF of the logical levels, which I'm going to be talking to you about today. And you can download that, and you can have that for for later on if you want to use it and use it as a reference and looking back and forth things. All right, so the Success Meeting. What is the Success Meeting? Well, I've given you a brief outlay in the video that I sent you before you actually came here today. What happened was many years ago, 9 years ago to be exact, I was working as a full-time realtor. I think it's my 25th year now, so we're going back 16 years in the business. And there was two young guys that had just started the business. They weren't having as much success as they would like. And they were in my office, and I had a private office, and then there was the bullpen area which they were working in. One day, I had at that time, Cole and Olivia were probably around 9 and 11 years old. So I had two young kids, my wife worked, I worked, and I had a lot of stuff that I needed to juggle around. So what happened was I came in one morning at 8 a.m., I walked into the office, and I went into my office and I started pounding out some of my calls. Which I love to do is I like to get in early, I make the calls, leave some voicemails, leave some messages, send out some emails, get through my whole list, and then as I'm going through the day, those responses come in and then I'm able to respond from them. So that's a good tip right there. Get in the morning, get things done, especially if you have a busy life. As I was walking out of the meeting, I look over and there's those two young men sitting there, dressed for success, in their chairs at their desks doing their work. I said good morning to them. They said good morning. I said have a great day. I run out, I take my daughter to school, I come back, I go to the gym, I have a shower, I come back into the office around 11 o'clock. The two guys are still there, and I came in and I started just replying to all the emails, making some phone calls, and I actually had to start setting the appointments that I had booked in the morning. The people had gotten back to me and wanted to go out. So I started booking appointments. So I was in for a good 45 minutes, a half hour. I rip out, and the guys are still sitting there. I said, have a great afternoon. I take off, I go do some errands that I have to do, played a little guitar at home, had a little practice session of guitar, and then I had to pick up my daughter from school, bring her home, and then Chris came home from work, we did the shift change, I went back to the office, it's 4:30 now, and sitting there are the two guys again, and they've been there all day, 8 hours, just hammering away, and I said to them, hey guys, what are you doing here? And they said, we're working, and I said, okay, great, well, you guys have been here all day for 8 hours? And they're like, yeah. I go, well, you know what, sorry guys, but that's BS. Like, you don't need to put in an 8-hour day. You just need to be focused and you need to be structured. And they said to me, well, if you're such a great coach, because they knew I was coaching at the time, if you're such a great coach, why don't you help us? I said, okay, great. You guys show up every Monday morning at this office at 9 a.m. and I will help you in your business. And I said, and I guarantee you I'll make you $100,000. And they took that invitation, and every Monday at 9 a.m., those two are in there, sitting down in their seats in the Success Meeting. And over a period now of 5 years of doing the Success Meeting with them over and over and over and over again, then not only have they reached the goal of a six-figure income, they've gone beyond that. They have balance in their life. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you an idea of how that works. I'm going to run you through the process. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit about how living with purpose and how having a focus on purpose can actually change the way you make decisions, the choices you make, the actions that you take in your business, and the environment that you create for yourself at home and in the office. So we're going to cover those things today. If you have, like I say, if you have any questions, fire away. I want this to be interactive. Even if you find like it's out of context, just ask the question and I'll try to give you the answer as best I can. I've been coaching now, real estate coaching now, solid for 7 years. It's my full-time position. I don't sell real estate anymore. I've accumulated over 17,000 hours working with 400 different realtors and businesses and corporations, mortgage brokers, just so many different types of people in their businesses, helping them get laser focused to have their success. And I want to give that to you today. So the success meeting, what is the purpose of the success meeting? To give you support, to be a part of your community where I can help you be accountable and consistent and create great habits in your business. That's why I'm doing it for the next 4 weeks. We're doing it on the 7th, we're doing it on the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th of March. The intention is to help you create laser focus in your life and in your business. Laser focus, you need 2 things to be laser focused. You need a time frame and you need a purpose. I'm going to help you identify your purpose. The time frame is going to be in the next week before we meet again next Wednesday. By having those 2 things, you're going to have laser focus. You're going to find the actions you need to take in your business, tailored for your business, for you to go out and achieve the success that you want to achieve. The desired outcome is that you will be inspired by me and my energy and what I'm teaching you and the success that I'm bringing to you. Also, I want you to leave with an action plan and a weekly intention that you're going to put in place that's going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve. And at the end of the day, I just want to help you achieve your success. If you haven't done your goal setting yet, you can go to my YouTube site, Coach Keith, and on that YouTube site, there are 3 videos on goal setting from my last goal setting webinar that we did. Those are free to you. Make sure you access them. If you haven't set your goals yet and you haven't defined your success, then you're probably finding yourself very frustrated, very, very lost, or maybe you're finding that the market's not performing the way you want right now. The bottom line is you don't have direction. I want to give you direction. So when I talk about purpose, just to keep it real simple for you, purpose is this place where you feel you have a responsibility that you get value from. So for some of you out there, you might be in a relationship and you get responsibility. You like being responsible to your partner, and by doing that, you get value from that process. I know as a father that one of the driving forces in my life is that I get huge value from being a responsible father who's a earner, a provider for his family, and a leader for my family. That's one of the components of my purpose. Another way to look at this is the purpose can be the driving force. It's kind of that thing that's bigger than yourself. So Simon Sinek, if you want to check out Simon Sinek, he calls it the power of why. If you want to take a look at it in different ways, I call it the purpose because on the logical levels of how we think, we have to have a higher purpose so that we can take the right actions to create the business that we want. And all the time that we're doing this, we need to give focus to our brain. Our brain gets defocused by emotions and feelings. The market's down, I haven't done my transactions. Or right now you could be sitting in February, your goal was to hit 4 transactions and you're at 3. And you're not feeling like it's there, you're feeling like it's a struggle. You've been writing deals, you've been doing offers, they've been collapsing, they've been going together. You might have been in multiple offers. Either way, real estate is a jungle. It's not so much fun when it doesn't go exactly right, and it never goes exactly right. So you need to be the best tool in your business. You need to be strong. You need to be laser focused. And to do that, you need to know what your purpose is. So it's not as hard as you think. In other videos that I've done, we talk about the life wheel, we talk about the work wheel. And the life wheel and the +1ing is where you identify the parts of your life, you identify where you're at in those parts of your life, and then you rank yourself 0 to 10 how you're feeling. And then what you do is you put in a +1 action. That +1 action will take your marriage to the next level. It'll take your relationship with your children to the next level. It will take your work to the next level. The +1ing is a philosophy, and when your life wheel is being +1, you're leading to your best life, and really, that's the simplicity of this all. Our real purpose is to live our best lives. Now, here's the thing. Are you living your best life, or is your life living you? Do you take action? Are you focused? Are you +1ing? Are you making sure you do date night? Are you making sure you spend time with the kids? Are you making sure you're laser focused in the office? Are you going to the gym? Are you working out? Are you spending time with your friends? Are you taking care of your finances? Are you laser focused on your life, or are you just finding that you wake up and you do the best you can, and by the end of the day, you don't have the result you want? Well, what I want you to know is it's time to get laser focused, and that's what I'm here to do for you. Today, I'm your coach. I'm working with you to get you laser focused. I'm going to walk you through a simple system to do that. First thing I want to do is I want to show you how the logical levels and having purpose manifests the best life for you. So you have the attachment of the logical levels in the webinar just off to the right. You can click, you can download it, and you can grab that, print it off, have it for later use. What I want to do is I just want to show you how the brain works and how we can stay laser focused when we have purpose. So what I've done is I put my purpose up on here, and I'm going to walk through the logical levels, and I'm going to show you how it impacts my life. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to walk it without my purpose to show you what it looks like when I'm lost and I'm defocused by my feelings. So the valued responsibility and the purpose and my vision of my life. My valued responsibility is that I'm a leader for my family, that I'm a coach. I'm going to help people achieve their success. I want to make a difference in people's lives, help them achieve their success, be a leader for my family. That's my purpose. So when I wake up in the morning and I get aligned with that purpose, who am I being? What is my identity when I'm being and focused on my purpose? My identity is the best Keith I can be, and I put here AIM, which is my company, which is Achieving Individual Mastery, which means I woke up this morning and I said, how can I impact some lives today? And I'm doing this webinar, and I have 4 one-on-one coaching sessions in the afternoon. And when I go to bed, I'm going to ask myself, did I impact any lives? Did I make a difference? And the answer is going to be yes. Was I a leader for my family? Yes. These are the things that I stay focused on a daily ritual so that I can keep my feelings and my emotions in focus so that I can do the tasks that I need to do. So when I am aligned with my purpose and I'm being the best Keith that I can be, the choices that I make are positive choices that align with growing my business, that align with growing my success, that align with living my best life. And because I make those choices, what values and beliefs am I living from? The values that I live from are appreciation, integrity, and respect. I appreciate that what I'm doing is making a difference. And I appreciate that I'm working with the clients that I need to be working with. I'm of integrity, never to implement my vision of the world into my client's life. And I am respectful that whatever answer you get today that you need to put into your business is the answer for you. It's these core values that I operate from, and that has me making positive choices, being the best Keith I can be, where I can make the impact in your lives and the community's lives that I work within. Great. So with a purpose, those are the values I live from. So when I'm living in a valued responsibility where I don't believe, the thing about a valued responsibility is really interesting is if I don't value my responsibility, then my responsibilities become a burden. So if I was standing here with you, giving you a seminar on how not to be, then I would say to you, don't be burdened by your family. Don't be burdened by your work. Don't be burdened by your clients, because you get no value from that. You get the opposite. It de-energizes you. It takes your emotional ability away. You can't reach your full capabilities. So we need to get responsibility and value from those responsibility. If you're sitting out there today, let me ask you a question. Are you getting value by being responsible to yourself by being in this webinar with me? The answer should be yes, because you're making you important to be your best. So when I have that valued responsibility, when I'm living on purpose and I have a vision of creating a life that's going to be amazing, I'm being the best I can be, and I'm always trying to achieve mastery, not perfection. I had a coaching session yesterday, and I said to someone, what's the difference between perfection and mastery? He says, well, perfect is me trying to become somebody else but myself, and mastery is me trying to be better at myself. And I said, wow, what an epiphany. For this person, he's kind of in a box of perfection. Hopefully now he's out of that. He's on his way to mastery, where he allows himself to make mistakes. He takes risks and knows that he's just doing the best he can. This way, life isn't living him, but he's living his life. Great. So my identity is the best I can be. The choices I make are positive choices. The values and beliefs I have are appreciating integrity and respect. And when I'm living this life, what am I capable of doing? Anything I put my mind to. I have done this process with over 300 people, and every time I help them identify their purpose and walk down the logical levels, every time I get to capabilities and I say, what are you capable of? They say, anything. And it's this real truth that is, when I live my best life, when I'm on purpose, when I'm laser focused, I can accomplish and fulfill my full potential, and the capabilities are endless. And when I'm in a position where I believe I can accomplish anything and I am absolutely achieving my best, what kind of actions and behaviors do I take? Well, I'll tell you what kind of actions and behaviors I take. Focused actions. Actions that are going to get me the result that I want to have my best life. I'm not taking actions, I'm not going to the coffee shop. I'm not going to the pub for 3 hours. I'm not doing none of that. I am actually doing what I need to do to live my best life. And because I've done that, what kind of environment do I create for myself, my family, my clients, and the people in my community, my tribe? I create a positive, inspiring, energetic, caring, and safe environment, which means everybody can now achieve their best based on this. So this is how the logical levels of how we as human beings come to choice, how we choose and live by our values and create the beliefs that drive us there, how we can reach our full capabilities by taking the right actions and behaviors. Now here's the beauty. If any of my clients ever say to me, I feel stuck, and if you're feeling stuck out there, you just send me a quick message. Tell me where you're feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck in your actions and behaviors in the office, if you're feeling stuck in your capabilities, if you're feeling stuck in the choices that you make, or you might be in an identity shift. You might be lost. You might be out there going, I don't even know who I am. If that's the case, send me a question and I'll show you the quick route out of that as fast as I can. When I meet my clients and they say, Keith, I'm not taking the right actions in my business, I say, okay, so I go up 2 levels and I ask them, why is it important for you to take action for your business? Well, I really need to do it because I need to make some money because there's no money in the account and I'm almost at the end of my line of credit. Okay, great. Why is it important for you to make that money and get out of your line of credit? It's important for me to get out of there so that I can actually get focused and start doing more work. Why is that important for you to do? So I can be better for my family, so I can make more money, I can pay my bills. Why is that important for you? I want to take my family on vacation. Why is that important for you? Well, I just want to be a leader for my family. Why is it important for you to be a leader for your family? I want to make a difference. I want to be the best I can be. We all have that driving force. It just gets covered up as life just keeps throwing the mud at us. So what we got to do is we got to clean this mud away, get laser focused, identify our purpose, and start living that life. Now, I'm going to move into the success meeting because the success meeting is structured in 6 steps that will help you get to your purpose, that will help you be laser focused. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you over, we're going to go into the success meeting part. This is the part that I have done over and over and over again because we need to put things into action and practice them over and over again until they're integrated within us, until it becomes our new routine, until we create new programming in our brain. The success meeting is meant to reprogram your brain to be in a positive mindset so that you can go out and accomplish what you need to do. It's also there to have you create the tools and what you need so that you can put it into your business, because your business is different than my business and the guy that you're working with in the office beside you. And there's top producers, medium to producers, and people that are struggling. And the bottom line is not everyone's running the same style of business. So what you need to do is run the business that's right for you, the business that's right for your clients, the business that's going to make you successful, that identifies with your definition of success. A long time ago, I had to figure out what my definition of success was. And what I found out was this. I actually was going to get an award for making $1 million in commissions. And when I went to get that award and I shook the big wig's hand, Dave Liniger at Remax, I shook his hand, I received the award, and I felt empty. I felt lost. I thought this should be it. This was my goal. I wanted to make $1 million by the time I was like 30. So I did, and it was great, but it wasn't enough. So what I did was I started to go on this journey of searching of why I was so unhappy. So I started meeting people. I went to my mentor. I asked my mentor what his definition of success was, and he gave me this perfect phrase. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So I went away for the next month, 2, 3 months, trying on his definition of success, still unhappy, still anxious, still on the way to depression because I had achieved what I wanted to achieve, but I felt empty. So then I went to another person and I asked them their definition of success. And then another and another and another. It was the year of me trying to define success through others' eyes. Couldn't find it. Then one day what I decided to do is I went to Hans Wonton House, little Chinese joint, took out my day timer, and I did my first life wheel. I ranked myself out of 10, what I needed to do. I circled the top 3 things in my life, and I said, okay, if these are the top 3 things in my life, then my definition of success would be accounting to those top 3 things. Well, the top 3 things were my mental health, my wife, my mental health, my marriage, and my children. And I came up with a statement that said, when I'm in a marriage that's fun, that I want to be engaged in, and my mental health is strong and I'm continually doing the work, and I have a great relationship and I'm a leader for my children, that's my definition of success. So I had this aha moment, which was, I am successful. The problem was, I was measuring my success by how much money I had and how many sales I had. I was in a sales industry. I was receiving all these awards. So when I was in Vegas and I received this award, the reason I felt empty was this wasn't my definition of success. What my definition of success was is what I just read to you. And then I had to say to myself, okay. And at that time, my relationship with my children was strong. My mental health was strong. My marriage wasn't. I booked a marriage counselor. We started getting back on track. And today she showed up like a hero for me in the morning. So here's what I want you to know. We're going to go through this process, and it's way deeper than you can even imagine. So I can't get into that in detail now, but you can go to my other videos. I go into them to detail all the time. So what I want you to know about the success meeting. Number 1, we celebrate successes. So what I need you to do with that piece of paper and pen that I asked you to get out is I need you to write down 3 successes that you have had in the last week, in the last 2 weeks. It can be personal, it can be business. I need you to be focused on what you had that was successful in the previous weeks. If you wrote some offers, if you had a buyer's tour, if you spent time with the family, just write it down. You see, the first thing you want to do is you want to tell me about what you didn't do. You know, that's the problem is we're programmed to focus on what we didn't do. We're programmed to focus on, our failures because we believe that if we recognize our failures, we can have success. It's an and philosophy. What we need to do is we need to look back. Yeah, you can recognize your failures. And you need to celebrate the successes that you had. And this is where we're going to start building the foundation for your success moving forward. Remember what I said is it's about integrating and building these things. By building on successes, you're building a business of the things you did right. So when I meet you next week, and I meet you on the 21st, and I meet you on the 28th, and by the end of that time, we have celebrated 12 successes, then basically what we're looking at is you building a business that you can trust on the successes of what you've done. So take the time, write down the 3 successes. Remember, this is a routine, a procedure that I want you to do every week. I want you to do this every Monday morning before you even start your week. You need to get your brain on right. You need to get the engine tuned up before you start driving in the week. Celebrate your life and your business. You have to write down a minimum of 3 celebrations. Number 2, after you've written down your 3 celebrations, you're going to say, what worked well? WWW. This is a great feedback frame. If you're a leader in a business and you're watching this, if you're running a team, even for your family and your children, if you were to say to them, what worked well last week? And they tell you something, and you say, what worked well to get those successes for yourself? Now what you're doing is you are getting laser focused on the actions you took that created the successes that you want. Which means to go forward and you want to have more success, you need to repeat those actions. You see, you have the answers for your business and your life. So, what worked well in your business to create the successes that you just wrote down? So take the time and write down what worked well. If you're not writing this down now, then what I'd like you to do is, just listen to what's going on. When I'm done, you can come back, review this part, and walk through it with me. It's so important that you walk through this structure because this structure has been designed to keep your brain in a rewarding brain, not a threatening brain. It's designed to keep you in a positive mindset so you can build a business that you can trust. Remember, I have done this over the last 5 years every week. And every one of the realtors that shows up there has doubled or tripled their business because they're laser focused on their successes. They're laser focused on what built their successes. And now here's the next question. Even better if I. EBI. So it's WWW, what worked well, and it's EBI, even better if I. So you answer the question, it would have been even better if I did what? So ask yourself that question right now. I'm going to give you a little pause for thinking this through. So even better if. Even better if I will give you your first task to accomplish in the next week. It's a way to be kind to yourself. It's a way to go, okay, so here's my successes, here's what worked well, and you know what, Keith, it would have been even better if I contacted more clients. It would have been even better if I booked more open houses. It would have been even better if I spent more time with my family. Whatever your even better if is, it's you telling yourself that is the most urgent and important thing that you need to apply to your next week. So what you want to do is you want to take that, write it down, put it in your calendar, and make sure it happens. All right. So that's what we do, and then what we do is we move into the part of our business. And this part is so important, and like I said, I can't go into super detail on it, but I'm going to go into some details on it. The fourth step in the success meeting is you review your 2-month goals. Now, if you didn't set your goals for the year, then this is going to be hard to do. And what I need is I need you to realize that when we talk about goals and when we talk about goal setting, there's no crying or emotion in goals or goal setting. A lot of the times that people don't want to set goals is because they've done it before and they didn't achieve them, or they've done it before or they've gotten out of practice. But either way, what happens is the reason they stop doing it is because they don't like the negative feelings that go with goal setting. A lot of people don't goal set because when they don't achieve those goals, they beat themselves up. For instance, I have a client that recently, when we were doing our goal setting, wanted to achieve 24 transactions and they got to 20. So they were disappointed. Meanwhile, that 20 created a very successful year for them, created the money they needed to take care of their family. They went on family vacations, and so that realtor was focusing on the 4 deals he didn't do instead of the 20 that he did do. And if he'd have celebrated the 20 deals that he did, and then he would ask himself what went well to get those 20 deals, and then he could say to himself, it'd have been even better if I did more open houses, if I called more past clients, if I was more face-to-face, if I was more in my community, if I asked for the business at an open house. It would be so much better if I'd done that. Then he can go and say, okay, great. Well, here's the good news. That person is not setting goals for 24 this year. They're setting goals for 36 with me, because here's the thing. They're not emotionally attached to their goals, and therefore he can now start building a business for 36 ends. He may only get to 27, but he's gotten through 24. If you haven't set goals, you need to set goals. Don't let life live you. You need to live your life. All right. So let's talk about reviewing your 2 months goals. That's step number 4. And step number 5 is, do you have enough leads, customers, and clients to fulfill those goals? So what I like to say is, Coach Keith likes to say, I take hope out of the equation. Hope is not a good way to build your business. Hope is not a good way to build a financial future. We have to take hope out of the equation. So what happened is, and I'll tell you my story. My story was I didn't really know the difference between leads, customers, and clients. I just called everybody a client. And then one day I came into my office and I looked at all my clients in my lead pool and I went, wow, it's going to be an amazing year. At the beginning of the year in January, I had 20 clients, which weren't clients, but I had 20 people I was calling clients, which had me take my foot off the gas. I didn't do much lead generation. And at the end of the year, a lot of those people didn't come to fruition. Imagine that, hey? Some of them went and worked with another realtor. Oh, kick in the gut. Some of them decided that I wasn't good enough, or that they wanted someone that was going to be different. Some of them decided not to go on the market that year. So those 20 people turned into like 5, and because I was defocused, I didn't go out and get new business, or I didn't try to get more business. So you can see how it's a bit of a mind trick. So what we need to do is we need to identify who's real. We need to identify who is a client. Now, a client is somebody that's in your car that you've got properly qualified. And a proper qualification is you know their financing situation inside and out and you've talked to their broker. You know their motivation. You've asked them the question, if you were to move on the perfect day, what would it be and why? And they told you it's in 30 days because they've given notice to their landlord. And finally, you're going to know that they're going to be loyal to you. You're going to have the guts to look them in the eye and say, when you find the perfect home, are you going to be writing the contract with me? Or you can ask them, are you going to be loyal with me and work with me? You got to ask those 3 questions. If the answer is yes, they become a client. So I'm just going to grab a different pen. So here we go. Listings and buyers. Leads, 90 plus a year clients, long-term clients. A lot of you will have people that won't be listing until the fall. Therefore, they're a long-term client. They deserve great customer service and they become a customer. You should call them every month just to update them and to ask them if they need anything or if they need any help. Next, customers that fall in the 60 to 90 days, they deserve great customer service. So what we're going to do is we're going to call them once a week. Every week you call them and you tell them you're going to call them. You might put them on auto notification, but you do not want to forget them. You need to keep face-to-face. You need to keep personal contact. So 60 to 90 day people, they become our customers. And over here in 30 days are our clients, because these people we know for a fact are qualified. And let's imagine my 2-month goal is for March and April, I want to accomplish 4 transactions. So I have 2 listings that I've done CMAs on. They're not mine for sure. And as soon as I think they're mine for sure, I'll lose them. So what I do is I put them up there. So I have 2 CMAs coming down the pipe. They're customers. I'm going to touch base with them once a week, make sure they got the information that they need. I also have 3 buyers because 2 of these people are selling and 2 of them are buying with me. So they're up there, and I have 1 more buyer who's out of town, and when they're coming back into town at the end of May, they're going to want to go out and look and buy something. Great, perfect, that's where. Up here, I've got, 5 or 6 leads from friends and people at the school and online leads, and just leads are up here, and I haven't converted them down into my funnel yet. I haven't called them in 2 weeks. Well, I might as well write them off. But what I am going to do is I'm going to call the warrior within. I'm going to say, you know what? I need to be in full control of my lead funnel because I want to reach my goals. So I call all these people and I ask them, if you're to move in on the perfect day, what would it be and why? And then they tell me, and then I put them accordingly in the funnel. And if I phone somebody 6 to 7 times and I leave 6 to 7 messages and I text them 6 to 7 times, I throw them up into the graveyard. And I call this the auto notification graveyard. I put them into auto notification and I never call them again. And if they come down to me, that's great. And if they don't, oh well, then it wasn't meant to be. What you can do is you can build drip campaigns with your CRM. You can do all kinds of stuff with those leads. But the truth is, for me, I need to be focused on these people because these people are where my success is going to be. So right now in my car, I have 1 listing signed and on the market. They're going to buy with me, and I have 1 buyer. So I have 3 clients. My goal is 4. Now I have to ask myself, what am I going to do to go and turn that into 4 clients? Well, I better get on the phone to these people and see if I can motivate them, maybe give them a kick in the keister to get them going so I can get them down into my client pool. The truth of the matter is a lot of people that are up here are ready to go down here. It takes a good realtor with good communication skills that's not afraid to make the calls to move them from the customer down to the client, put them in the car, get the listing done, market the listing, get the sale, and then you'll start creating. So right now, I do not have enough in my hopper, which means I'm hoping I'm going to reach my goal of 4 by the end of March and April. But the good news is I have 60 days to go find 1 or 2 more people. Now, if I have 4 and that's for March and April, then what happens is I'm looking ahead in my business. So the beauty of what I'm showing you is to create consistency in your business, we need to be looking 2 months at a time. So I want to do 4 in March and April. I have 3 of the 4 leads, which means I'm almost there. I'm going to get laser focused on doing that. And because I'm laser focused on creating new leads, I'm also creating leads for May and June where I want to accomplish another 4 deals. So what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to do 2 in January and get my 2 but have not done any work, that I don't have enough leads for February. So what I need to do is focus on it 2 months at a time. I have 4 transactions I want to get to, and I only have 3 in the hopper. Okay? So now that brings us to the final step of the success meeting. Step number 6. Step number 6 is set your weekly intention. So I just walked you through my lead pool. I only have 3. I need 4. My weekly intention. This week I'm going to be laser focused on the clients that I have, and I'm going to call the customers that are between 60 and 90 days, touch base with all of them, see if I can start booking appointments with them. My intention is to book an open house to generate more leads, not for March and April, but now for May and June. And that's going to create a business that I can trust, and that's going to create a stable business, and that's going to give me the ability to be positive and to know that I'm actually creating the success that I want instead of not knowing and not paying attention. So the 6 steps in what we're doing is write down your 3 successes so we can build a foundation for your business on success. What worked well? I want you to acknowledge the small actions that you took that made this happen, because it's always about the small actions. Number 3, even better if I. This is a kind way to be a critic in your life and say, it'd have been even better if I held more open houses, made more phone calls, followed up with my leads, talked to my customers more. 4, review your 2-month goals so you know how many you want to be in March and April. 5, do you have enough leads, customers, and clients? Answer that question truthfully. If you have 0, that's the perfect place to be, because hope is out of the equation. Now you can set a weekly intention that's going to allow you to hit a home run and go out and get what you need to do. And if you're at 0 today and you still have your goals, or you haven't set your goals, set your goals. It's okay. Don't be emotionally attached. If you're at 0, now you're laser focused. Set your weekly intention. Write it down. It's very important that you take a pen and paper and you write these things down. Your brain, in order to remember and to execute the things, it needs 3 things. It needs visual, audio, and kinesthetic learning. And right now, this here is your visual and audio. I can't write it down for you. You take that pen and paper, you write it down. You need to do the work. If one thing I can tell you is none of this gets done if you're not going to do the work. I can show you all the systems that I'm implementing, but the bottom line is I need to see you here next Wednesday. I need to see you here the following Wednesday. You need to be committed to your business so we can walk through this process. You need to answer these questions with me in this session. You need to write these things down, and when I leave you, you go, you execute them, you come back, and in 4 weeks we'll have built the momentum in your business that you need to get it going to that next level. If you have any questions, like I said, fire them off. Abdul, do we have any questions over there at all? No questions? I'll give you a couple seconds to write them in. Basically, we're at the end of our success meeting now. If you would like to go see the goal setting, again, go to my YouTube page. It's Coach Keith, and you'll see that there's 3 videos that we put up there, which was the last webinar that we did on our goal setting. We have some great things coming up in the next month that are going to help you even more. And when I see you all the way through to the end, when we launch, I'll let you know where we're going and what we're doing with that, which will be a great impact in your business as well. So, what did we learn today? We learned that a life with purpose, when lived properly, you are capable of anything that you want to do. It'll have you living and being your best self. Take that logical levels, take this video, watch it again, understand what it means to be in a life of purpose with valued responsibility. All right, it's Coach Keith. I hope I made an impact in your life today. I know for a fact that when I go to bed tonight, I can say, I did and was aligned with my purpose, and I want you to be able to say the same thing. Have a great day, and thanks for being here.